Good morning, and it is Monday. It is the 6th of March, last time I looked, and here we are. And I've decided to start my lives a little bit later, so I will remind you, 8:30 on Monday morning, simply because Monday is big admin day for me, and I've also got a lot going on with my social media for trainers group that I have to do in advance of us meeting up. So how is it, everybody? I got to confess, a little bit woozy this morning. Didn't sleep very well last night, and a lot of that was down to the fact that we're a huge Liverpool family, and watching that match yesterday, wow, big stuff, big stuff. But I'm not here to talk about football. Goodness me, what would I know to talk about football? So today's Monday motivation, Monday musings. I think we might change it. Do you think Monday musings is better? I'm not sure. Excuse me. But I was slow for coffee. Wake myself up, ready for the day ahead. So today's topic came out of the weekly training that I'm doing with my social media for trainers group, we're only on to week 2 today, and I'm really enjoying it and creating content that's interesting and relevant for them. Got me to thinking about marketing generally, because this is the thing, as much as I absolutely love social media, it's not a one size fits all. Morning, George. It's not a one size fits all. Social media is wonderful. Yes, once you learn how to use it, unless you're doing any sponsored, boosted posts, advertising within the platform, it's completely free of charge. However, not every one of your clients is going to be hanging out online, and that's the thing you need to remember. In fact, I was reminded of that actually by a young woman I was doing some one-to-one training with before Christmas, and she was probably, I don't know, 28, 30, and she was terrified of social media, and she really didn't. Thanks, George. That's nice feedback. Um, she really is frightened of social media, didn't want to hang out there, didn't want to do any of that stuff. So we started having a conversation about other marketing platforms and different ways in which we can engage with our audience. And that's one of the things I would say to you is that once you establish who your perfect client is, so I'm going to have to hold my coffee cup. I am frozen this morning. Once you've established who your perfect client is, who are they? The more you understand about them, the better. What type of people are they? And yes, they more than likely may well hang out on LinkedIn, Instaspam, Faceache, Twitter. They may well hang out there, but they may not spend that much time there. And we can't risk that we're not contacting them. So a perfect example of this is I have a group program, which is a rolling group called Social Media for Grown-ups. And it's a lovely group, and people join for a year and then keep staying. It's great. But in that Facebook group, I don't get lots of engagement, and people have paid to be there. Social Media for Trainers, my new group, not that much engagement. People have invested money to be there. But when I send an email, I get more response because they're engaged with me. They know who I am. So what I want you to think about is, what other marketing streams could you use to attract your perfect clients? Now, we have lots of different types of business join these lives. So if you are a product-based business, it might be that you have something up here in Northwest Leicestershire. We have something called Ashby Life, which is a small free A5 that gets put through your letterbox once a month. And it has adverts for local businesses, service providers, all sorts of different people. So if you are business to consumer, and you're selling into Joe Public, you may have to think about something different. You may have to look at different touch points. It might be that you're looking at whatever sort of business you have, direct mail. If you're business to business and you're hanging out on LinkedIn a lot, and your perfect client is another business, and now that people are, 3 years almost since the first lockdown, I remember it very, very vividly because my lovely husband's birthday was on Friday, and 3 years ago it was his 50th. And we actually managed to have his 50th birthday party because we planned it the last Saturday in February. And we were so lucky to have around 60 friends and family from all over the country joining us for his 50th. And I remember it was 2-3 weeks later, we went into lockdown. Still remember those scenes of rushing around Tesco's and everyone to get toilet roll. I digress. However, what I would say to you is that if you are business to business, now that people are going back into the offices, very much so. I mean, some people have stayed in their offices all the way through, but depending on who your perfect client is, should you be looking at a direct mail campaign? Would that be relevant for you? Should you consider an email marketing campaign? What ways have you got to engage with your perfect clients? Is your website optimized? Are you investing in Google AdWords? Are you using Google Analytics to understand where people are coming to your website from? What is driving them there? Are you a link on somebody else's website? Are you investing in search engine optimization? That could be another route. And the other one, which is a really big one for a lot of businesses, is networking. And the reason I'm saying that today, particularly, is that there's a relaunch of one of the groups that I've been a long-standing member of, and I've been asked to talk. And I'm going to talk about quick wins on social media. In fact, we might do that next week. For next week's topic, I might share that with you. But networking is, unless you're selling into big corporates, is a great way to engage with people, often the decision maker, which is great. So absolutely important that you are spreading your reach. Exhibitions, having a stand at an exhibition may be the right route to market. So I want you to think about today and make some notes, and feel free to message me if you've got any questions. Morning, Neil. Yes. And email newsletters are brilliant. Big thing about email newsletters is don't just keep it to monthly. You need to be keeping in touch with people more frequently. The latest data is that the typical open rate, unless you've got a super engaged audience, is around 25%. So if you're sending an email newsletter out 12 times a year and 25% are going to be opening that, that's a lot of people that you aren't connecting with. And something that I learned a lot about last year, I was part of a really big email marketing community, and I learned a lot. It was really great. Is that most email newsletters are too long. And actually, that comes back to something I've just been finishing off for next week, which is the length of posts. What we tend to forget about when we're writing our content is our audience. Yes, we might be writing content we think is interesting, but is our perfect customer in a place where they've got time to sit and read a long form post? So sometimes you might want to think about writing a shorter post and maybe linking it to a longer form if you've written it like an article or as part of an email newsletter, or if you'd like to read this in full, this is the link to our newsletter. And in your newsletter, just keep it short, bullet points, but say read the full article here. Because then if you've captured their attention, and this is the big thing about post length, if you've captured their attention, they will read it 100%. So I usually work on the first 120 characters. Needs to be really interesting, because if it's not, then the likelihood is they're not going to read it. And you'll have put all of that time and effort into creating a really great post, that's perfect for your perfect client, but actually isn't resonating with them. Simple things. In the first lockdown, going back to lockdown times, I sent a small gift to a lot of the clients that I'd worked with the previous 12 months to remind them that I was there, because actually the easiest people to convert and to work with are people who've already experienced your skill set. So think about some sort of customer referral scheme. I do one with my clients where if they introduce somebody who then chooses to work with me, I then give them a free hour of my time as a thank you. So think about what you could do, because there are so many different ways we can market. Exhibitions are great, networking events are great, hanging out in different places. I always carry my business cards. Always. You never know. Your business cards are marketing. And actually, something that just came into my newsfeed just before I came online today, pop-up banners. So if you go to an event, sometimes you go to an event. So I was speaking at an event last week and I was able to take a pop-up banner. My pop-up banner is very simple. It's just like my LinkedIn header, actually. It has my core services on it. No great reams of text. People don't read them. And the reason this is front of mind for me is that Derby's Finest have got, we've got a wonderful day, week on Thursday, which is Our Lady's Wellbeing event at the Kedleston in Derby. And we're getting some pop-up banners done. And the artwork came through, and it's beautiful artwork. But there's too much text on it. People aren't going to read it, because if you think about a pop-up banner, you might be standing in front of it. If you're doing a talk, and you might have a pop-up banner, or you might be at a small exhibition or event where you're allowed to have pop-up banners. If you've got text on it, nobody's going to read it because it'll be too small. You're better off to have bullet points. That's the same actually as your LinkedIn header. If you've got too much text, or your Facebook header, you've got too much text on there, people aren't going to read it. So I want you to sit down and make a list of all of the different ways in which you could potentially engage with your perfect clients, because there are multiple ways and not everything is right for everybody. And social media, as much as I absolutely adore it, isn't a one size fits all. So that's my Monday musings, everybody. And I will be back here at my new time, 8:30 next Monday. Have a great week and feel free to message me if there's anything that I can help you with, any questions you've got. And I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.